Today we are building a vibrant task list to ensure people stay engaged. The task list will highlight when a task is urgent and will show this tick when the task is completed. There is also an extra column that you can use for resourcing, or as I have done it here, or you can input it as a category if you like. And the cells will be highlighted when there are duplicates in that column. You can input a progress percentage, and that also will be color-coded based on the progress. Not started, in progress, or completed will have different shading here. On the top of the chart, you have a representation on percentage of urgent tasks. Also the workload by resource or by category, depending on what you've chosen before. So it could be completed, outstanding, and also the status of the tasks. On the left-hand side, we will automatically display the current month and date and any text that you would like. So this tutorial will follow 3 steps. First, we will be building the table. 2, we'll be formatting the table. And finally, 3, we will be adding charts and graphs and all the fancy stuff on top. Welcome to this tutorial. So today we're going to build a task list, a vibrant colored task list. So the first thing we want to do is to build a grid that would look like this. If you want to follow exactly the same as I have done, if you want to start on the cell C5. So I'm just going to walk you through the different columns quickly. So first is a description. So that will be just some text that you will be putting there. This we'll talk about it later on. That's for the completion status. I will put a tick when it's completed. Urgent. So if you have Excel 365, you could just put a checkbox by putting insert checkbox, and then you would have true for urgent and false for not urgent. But as I want to include everyone, I'm just going to put a data validation. So you just go under data validation, and put yes, no here. So I will put a value list, and I will put y, n, and that will allow me to select yes or no here. This way, so make sure you drag that all the way down. Notes, so that just some notes, so that just will be text, I suppose. Allocated to, so I want to do differently this time. I usually refer to a resource list, but today I want to do something different. I want to have a free text here, and then we will build the resource list from that column. If you really want to know if you want to do it the more conventional way, by building the resource list first, please check my other videos, but I thought I will show you another way to do things. Estimate, so this is where you would put your estimate, say in days or in weeks, months, whatever you want. And here the percentage completed, so here you will put 40%, you will put a percentage. Now, how much is done? So those two are in blue for the moment. I mean, I'll change the whole color, obviously, but just to highlight those two here. The done part, it's quite simple. You just multiply the estimate by the completion. So you have 10 days, 40% complete, you have 4 done. And this, you have 2 ways, obviously. You can either multiply that by 60%, or you might find it simpler just to deduct 4 from the 10 here. Deduct the done from the estimate. There you go. Okay, so just to go back to this one here, so that's I don't want to put any title here because I think it'll be quite obvious. But for this, I'm using the 𝙎𝙝𝙝 function. So it allows you to get different values based on the number. So here, for instance, you have 10,004, and that gives me the tick. 10,005, I don't know what it is, but that would be something else. 10,006. Obviously, you have lists somewhere, but on the internet, if you check, you have all the values. But here, I'm just going to use the 𝙎𝙝𝙝 function. So the function is as is, 𝙎𝙝𝙝 of the cell here. Okay, so here, what do I want to do? I want to show a tick if it's completed. So very simple formula here. If referring to that cell here, completed is equal to 100%, or you can just put 1 if you prefer. What do? You do the 𝙎𝙝𝙝 of 10,004. And if not, you could put a cross, but I'm just going to leave it blank, so it's quite obvious here. Just put blank, put nothing here, or double colon, commas if you like. Okay, so here this, and if I put 100%, it should put me a tick. It puts me the tick. So this is it. I think we've done the basic task list here. We just need to first put a bit of coloring and a bit of conditional formatting into it. So let's bring this task list to life. So here what I have done is I've copied the H code of 4 colors that I've pre-selected that I like. And I want to apply the various shades of this color in this table here. So if you're not familiar with this, I'm going to show you how to create a new custom color theme here. So I'm just going to customize colors. You go under each one of the first 4 here, say, and you select the accent here, and you go under more colors, and here you would put the X code here of each one of those. So you would put here the X code of the purple for the first one. For instance, here I have the purple here. I don't have exactly the same one here, but if I put 540D6E here, that would give me the purple color for this one, color here. So this is what I've done. I've done that 4 times for each one of those. So you can see my colors here, the green, the red, the purple, and the yellow here. So I haven't done them in the same order because I wanted to keep the 2 blue. So I kept the 2 blue here, the 2 standard blue. And now I have all the colors I need in this. And as I was explaining before, the advantage is I can have all the shades. I don't have to recreate all the shades. Okay, so that being said, so here I'm just going to put one of the red here, for instance. Here I'm going to put red, and I'm going to put this in white and bold. This one I'm going to put it in purple, white, bold, and in what I call purple. I don't know what's the official name of this. Dark purple, they call it. That might be a bit too much. So I just take the 3rd accent here. For some reason, the purple always stronger than the other, so that's something to bear in mind. And then for that, I might select, obviously, the white font, but I will select instead some tabs of yellow. Maybe that will be a bit too light. So here, so depending on the color, you might realize that you cannot put the same accent for all of them. Okay, so and now I'm just going to put the basic background, the default background for each one of those. So for the red, I want to put the lightest of the red. For the purple, I'm going to try with the lightest of the purple, but as I mentioned, they're sometimes a bit too strong, so we'll see how we travel with this. And for the yellow, that should be very light, so that should work. Okay, this is done. Now, I want to do a couple of things. I want to do a couple of conditional formatting here. So the first conditional formatting that I want to do is for the red ones. I want to put the urgent one into a deeper red. So I'm just going to select everything here. I'm just going to go under conditional formatting, and I'm just going to create a new rule. Here I'll be using a formula, and I'm under the format values here. So this is where you have a tick box, you would put true, but for urgent, if you had the tick box here, instead of YN, you would put if true, but here I'm just going to put if urgent. So it's important that I click on the first cell at the top here, urgent cell at the top. And it's important also that I log the E. So I just want to click F4 until I have the $E, I missed it, $E and 6. So I don't want a dollar in front of the 6, but I want a dollar in front of the E to make sure I log the colon, because all those 4 colons will be tinted based on the value of the 3rd colon here. And what do we want here? We want this is equal to Y. And what we'll do, we go in the format here, and once again, you see the advantage of having all those color preset here is I want to have some types of a deeper red. I think, don't know which one. We'll try with this one first. It might not be deep enough, but we can still change it. Okay, so you can see that's a little bit deeper. We'll see when I add more tasks if we can change the colors here. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing I wanted to do is this colon here. I wanted to make it very clear that it's completed. So I'm just going to do a very simple new rule. I can do a format only cells that contain for a change. I'm going to put no blanks here. So when this cell is no blanks, because the only thing that can be in there apart from a tick is blank, right? And when it's not blank, I wanted to put a deep red here, and I want to put a font that will be white as well. It should be bold already, but I'm just going to be sure that it's bold this time. So that's it. So, and when it's not completed, if it's 50%, for instance, it's gone. It's not here. When if it's completed, it's gone. So make sure that you apply that to the whole shebang here. Okay, now the conditional formatting that, so I've done a little bit of, I've input more tasks here. Now the conditional formatting that I want to apply for the resources, if there is the same resources on two tasks, I want to highlight the resource and the estimate as well. So that's going to be done using conditional formatting, but I don't want to have the formula too complicated here. It's not easy to maintain. It's not easy to explain as well. So what I'll do instead is I'll create additional cell here that you can hide later on, but I will put a condition here that can be checked to do the conditional formatting. Okay, so the condition will be, is this resource somewhere else in that list? So I'm just going to do a Countif, and the range is this. Make sure that you lock it. Make sure that you have dollar all over the place here, because it has to be, okay, it has to be constant, because we'll be dragging this formula down. And what is the condition? The condition is equal to this. So we check in this full column if there is another James Wilson. For instance, if I replace that person here with James Wilson, it should put me a 2. Okay, so this is the way you do it. And here I drag things down. And as you can see, 1, 1, 1, 1. And there is a 2 here. So the conditional formatting for this will be if this column here is greater than 1, then I will do a deeper purple, if you like. Okay, new rule, use a formula here, and I'm just going to move that on the side. And here, this is the condition. This is, I need to make sure that the 6, which is the row, is flexible. So I'm just going to put M6 here. If it's greater than 1, I'm just going to do a deeper purple here. Fill, and just going to put the number 2 in the list here. Ooh, that might be a bit strong, but we'll see. Let's take a big risk here. Okay, seems to be working, right? So here, if we put something random, this all goes back to 1, and it's not. Okay, that works. Now here, the completion. I know we've already checking completion. Actually, by the way, this is just a coincidence that there is a ticks here that the completed are only the urgent one. Or maybe not. Maybe they worked hard on this. Okay, so done and left, percentage completed. So we have several ways to check if a task is completed. For instance, it's left to be done. It could be 0, or the percentage completion can be 100%. So let's do this. Let's just select maybe the 100% complete. Okay, so this is it. So we've done the basic here. If you want to remove the grid line, view grid line, you remove this. This, you can make it either very obvious how many there are, but if you don't want them, you can either hide them. You can hide that column, right click on it and put hide here. Or what I prefer to do to make it obvious that there is a column here, and just in case you forget, is you go under data and you go under group, and then you can press here root. You can hide it this way. Okay, so we have finished this. Next step, I suppose, I need to do some calculations to do some charts at the top. So the first thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to have a look at the resources and how much I have some tasks that are in progress, completed, and outstanding. Okay, so in order to do this, I cannot take this data because remember I said this would be free text, and therefore here I will have 2 columns for on the chart for James Wilson, and we don't want that. We want to make sure we only have the unique values. And nicely way, the Excel function is actually called unique. So unique with a Q, of course. And here you do unique is equal to unique, and you select this array here. And that's it. And then you press enter. And here, see, you have only one James Wilson. And this, you can call that the resource list. Obviously, I've put it right bang under, but you might not want it under. You might want it in a different tab, but I do this for training purposes. So as you can see, when I click on the first name, there is a rectangle around it. So that means it's a dynamic list. When you have less resources, obviously, you would have a shorter list. So for the chart, you have to use common sense. How many do you want to pick up for your chart and the likes? So now I want to what I'm working on with the resources, I'm just going to put it in a grid just for training purpose. Obviously, as it's dynamic, you might not want to have that all the time. What I want to do is to have the work that has been completed and outstanding. And then I will be using this for my chart. I'm going to put that into a bit of a grid here. So completed. So what do I need to do? I need to do a SUMIF. SUMIF. And the range will be this list, and I make sure that I press F4 and everything is logged dollars all over the place. And the criteria is equal to this James Wilson here, so the cell just on the left. And what sum do we want to add? We want to add the done here. Okay, once again, F4. Before you do anything else, make sure that everything is locked. Okay, if you look at James Wilson here as an example, I have put 50%, so there's 5 plus 105, so completed is 605. And if I drag that down, making sure I have everything logged, yes, let's have a look. If we look at the last one, Tara Reid's got 15, so that seems to be working. So now I'm just going to copy this just to go a bit faster for the other one, and I'm just going to change the column. So we do the same, we do a SUMIF, but the difference is, are we using this left instead of the down? And then that should take us the same, give us the same result. Not exactly. Okay, so this is what I didn't do. I need to look well, this is what I should have done. I should have just moved this one here instead. Okay. We are live, guys. We are live. Okay. Now that's it. I'm just going to be extremely fancy here. So now we have this. We can just do our chart, I suppose, while we're here. I'm not going to take the top thingy here. I just put an insert. And this is what I was mentioning. If you have more or less tasks, you might have less resources. But what you can say, you just take the top 10, for instance. And here you go and insert recommended charts. Not because you want to choose the recommended, but actually there's one recommended here that doesn't look too bad. And you press OK. You make sure that you have the stacked one. Maybe I did that a bit too fast. I'm just going to do it again. So you can see insert. I was so surprised that the recommended one would work. But you go under all charts instead, and you select columns. And then you have several choices here. So this one doesn't work for us because unless you want them side by side, but I think it looks better when they are stacked. So you select the stacked column here. And here you go. So the first thing that I like to do is I just want to right click on it and format data series. I want to reduce the gap width. I think it just, I prefer when they are all stuck together, and that's it. So I want to stay with the theme of the color of the resource here. It's in this purple. So I'm just going to put the deeper purple on something that is completed. I'm just going to put this one. That's going to be too much in your face, isn't it? And this one will be the one that are outstanding. So done, in deep, outstanding, in. Okay. So I'm just going to put it at the top here. Somewhere. We'll look at the details later on. I'm just going to remove this. I'm going to do this. Okay, so this is already one chart done. Now the other chart I wanted to do is doing a sum maybe would be sufficient in this case here. We add another insert here. What do we want? Done, left, outstanding, or do we want how many tasks? Yes, it's debatable. So you can do you can either calculate the total that is done, and actually that's something that wouldn't hurt if we do an auto sum here. We put it here, we put it there. Maybe we just put a total here in a very deeper. Okay, hopefully you can see that. So this is the total that there is. So you can either do a chart using just the total in number of days, if that's what you want here. That's it. So that would tell you how many days are outstanding or not. But what I want to do instead is I want to calculate how many tasks are started, completed, and outstanding. Now, how do we do this? So the first thing that we want is not started, and then in progress and completed. So it's going to be a very simple Countif. Countif here, the range here is not started. It's going to be the same color as this actually. Countif. This is the range that we want, making sure that we lock it again. I've said that many times, I know, but I think this is usually where we become stuck. Okay, so that doesn't work. All right. Countif, and what is the condition? Is equal to 0, so not started. There is only one not started. Okay, let's just change that. Okay, there are two not started. In progress. Now we could copy that down. And what is, no, actually, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do the completed one. The completed is equal to 1 or 100%. And if I'm very lazy, I can just do a count A here. Like, for instance, if you wanted to count how many tasks there is the count A function here, count A. So that tells you how many of these tasks, of these cells, is not blank. So that would tell you how many tasks you have. So count A. So the beauty is there is only one parameter to this function here. So we have 13. So here I could be super lazy and I could deduct that in progress is 13 minus 2 minus 3. So, if you guys are, if there are accountants amongst you, you might think I'm cooking the books and I'm just, it's a bit of a dodgy way to do it. But if you don't want to do it this way, you would have to do a Countifs. And I know the Countifs is relatively recent, so I'm not sure if you would have it, but you would need to have a Countifs here and put two criteria. The Countifs, the way it works is, I'm just going to show you, I'm not going to do it actually. You would put the first criteria is greater than 0, the percentage complete greater than 0, and the second criteria would be percentage complete is smaller than 1. Okay, but I'm gonna stick to my dodgy practice here. Okay, so I'm just gonna do an insert recommended charts. Once again, I'm just going to go under all charts. I think it's more obvious for you. And this time I want to do a donut. No, that's not the, where is the donut? The donuts are within the pie chart here. Okay, and once again, first thing that you want to do, format data series, donut whole size. Sorry, that's the way they called it. So I want to have it a bit, 50% maybe. Yeah, let's try the 50%. We can still do this a bit smaller if we need. Okay, so here, as far as coloring is concerned, I don't want to put a title here yet, and I don't want to put this. What I like is my chart should be obvious, based on the same coloring as this. So here the first one should be the not started. So here that should be the same color as this, the pale yellow. The second one will be the stronger yellow. For the moment, I'm just going to leave it this way. Oh, that might not work. But remember, we still have to put the dark background. So I just want to wait. But this one, I believe, is, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Another way to do this, just as a, I suppose, training purpose, if you don't know how to do this, is you go under chart design, and you can do change color, and you can select some of these here, so that will do it automatically for you. So I have the border in white, and I think it's something that I have by default on my system. So if you don't have the border in white, you click on those, and you just put format, shape outline, and you put white here on each one. So the border here one will be white. Okay. So you can add the data labels if you like. So they will tell you how many. Okay, so we're just going to put that here for the time being. Now, I think it might be time just to turn this background into green. So I'm going back to my hex number here. Because I don't think I can, I might be able to. Let's have a look. So if I right click on normal here, modify, format here, if I go under fill here, oh yes, that followed, my color followed, so that'll be easier. I'm just selecting the green here. So it's always a bit of a surprise to see what Excel brought back. So it did bring back everything, so that's okay. Now, as you can see, we need to remove the white background here. So I'm just going to go under the chart, format, shape fill. I'm just going to put no fill. Same here, shape fill, no fill. Okay. This you could argue that this needs to be in white. We'll see if we want to put them in angle like this. That's not going to work, is it? So I'm just going to leave it this way for the time being. Chart title, we'll see that later on, but I think it's quite obvious. I don't want to over-explain everything. Okay, so let's just click on the horizontal grid and let's just remove it. Okay. So the only thing that is left to remove here, I think it's a shape outline for this as well. Shape outline, put no outline. So this way you don't have this grayish outline. So it all blends in. No outline here. Okay. So here, just for the sake of consistency, I know it doesn't look that good for the time being, but we'll change all this. We'll do some fine-tuning work later on. Actually, here I might want to add some of the white outline. Might look nice. White outline here. Okay. Do we want this to give a scale? Maybe. Okay. White. Okay. Now this is it, and we'll look at aligning things later on. Now I wanted to do another one here, and maybe just to let people know how many urgent tasks there are. Urgent tasks, you could argue that you don't care if a task was urgent if it's completed. So that's something that you might want to do, only to do a double check. There are, for instance, here, there is an urgent task, but it's completed, so you don't need to know. But I will argue that, yes, I wanted to know anyway, even if it's completed. So here I've just went on this format painter, and I've just applied it on here, if you don't know how it works. Okay, so let's do this calculation here. So it's all a little bit improvised here, this stuff here, but all this, you can put them into a different tab. This is what I suggest you do later on. So I'm going to remove this. This, we can put them in a different tab, but I think it's easier for me to show you when it's all here. So here, what do we want? Do we want urgent tasks? And we want not urgent tasks. Okay, so good old Countif. Countif, this and how many equal, once again, F4, or I don't know if it's really required here because I don't think we'll be reusing this, but equal to Y. Okay, so here I'm just going to do the lazy way again. I'm just going to take this number here, 13 minus 4, it's non-urgent task. So that just give you a percentage. It's just you take this one, because we've done some basic formatting already. I don't know if it'll be worth it because we have to change the colors, but you take this one and instead you drag the data selection and you take this one instead. Doesn't matter if there's a third one here. So you have already some of the formatting done, and actually I think I'm going to be using this method now. And same here, you could try your luck and go under the chart design and see what it gives you for the red. Does that make sense? I don't think it does because we have a different tone here. So just to be consistent with tone, so this way we don't have to explain what this chart is about. So you can see here I'm using the same color for something that is not urgent. Actually, this should be the other way around, Bunny. Okay, something that is deeper like this. And this one here, I'm just going to use something very pale. Okay. Well, I reserve the right to change my mind here. Maybe I want to put something a bit deeper, actually. I know it's not going to be consistent with this, but I think it lacks a bit of oomph, the chart at this stage. Okay. And here we could put either percentage or tasks. I'm just going to add data labels here. I think the data labels might need to be in white. If we want them, or maybe we just don't put them at all. This way it's more percentage. It's the same here. Maybe we just don't put them at all. This is a vibrant minimalist task. And now I've showed you how to put the numbers. If you want to keep the numbers, you can keep the numbers. Okay, something else here. What else? So I want to add some types of title here. Actually, after all that, text box title here. Here I want to put completion. Very simply, completion. Put it in bold. You can do it. Okay, white. I'm going to put shape format. I'm going to put no fill. Okay, and so this is obviously needs to be much bigger. You can put your favorite font here if you like, and that's it. So you still this outline here, shape format outline, no outline, and then you put that here. So I'm not going to stay live when I do all the final, I think, fine tuning because that's going to drive you nuts. But I'm just going to give you some indication, my preferred way to do this. So here, completion, duplicate. And what do I want to say? Urgent tasks, urgent percentage, urgency, urgency. I don't know if that makes sense, but put whatever you like, as I say. Okay. That's pretty much it, I think, for the chart. I just want to add the title, and then I want to do some alignment. Okay, now for the final touch. The final touch, I want to add some text here, and then we just need to align everything. Actually, you look at this resource stuff. I think if you want to put the resource name this way in an angle, you're going to have to leave more space. That's it. You can leave more space this way. Now, I want to put the month and the year and the title here. So in order to put the month, I just need to do something a bit complicated, unless you want to use your own font. But the font that I've selected is the Amaranth font. So Amaranth font. But the problem is if I want to have something in high caps here. So I'm going to have to do a trick here. I want to do the today. If I just do today like this, and I'm just going to right click on it, for instance, and I'm just going to put format cells, and I don't want them. I just the date here. I'm not interested. I want to do my own. I want to have, for instance, just the month here. So that's it. So this, in case you missed that, this is today. So this is the Excel function to give you today's date. And here, the problem is I cannot, the text box that I will be creating, because I will be creating a text box, take the text here as it is. So, but I want caps. So I'm just going to have to do something a little bit I suppose, complicated. I'm going to have to do a upper. I need to use a formula. I'm just going to create an in-between, if you like, cell. So upper, and you want text here. So the text that I will be giving is a today's date. Text today. And this is where I will be putting my formatting. All that to get high caps. Isn't it complicated? Yes, it is. Okay, so this is not a big success. What do we have? Text today, upper text today. What does it have? Okay, this is because I forgot to put this. Okay, don't forget to put today here, this way. So all that to get this into high caps. So now when I insert a text box this way, I click on the border of the text box and I put equal to this cell here. And that gives me this, and all that was just to get the upper stuff. So thanks for staying with me while I do this. Now, the font that I wanted to choose was the Amaranth. Okay. First I've put no fill here, and I'm sure I'm going to have to put it at some stage, the shape outline, no outline. It might not be very obvious for you, but I'm going to bring it here. Okay, there's a big box here. I want to put that in white, and I want to blow it up. And I have actually, I'm going to put it into 80, the size 80. Put 80 here. Okay, I want to do a couple of things. First, I'm just going to try and put some shadow. So that's always debatable if you want it or not. But go in the shape format and make sure that you put the shape effects not of the shape, but of the text. Text effect shadow, you put that here. It might stand out a bit more. And I just like the idea of being able to cut the bottom of this and just make it look like it goes. It appears from that. So if you want to do it this way, you have to make sure that all the months, I think the longest month is November, that they will all be able to fit in this. So you make sure that maybe you create that a bit bigger and you don't squeeze too many things here. But that you're on your own for that formatting. Okay, so I'm just going to move things a bit on the right, but I still wanted that here. So what I might do instead is put the notes here. Okay, put the notes bigger, put that here, put the urgency. Now it's gonna want me to do this. All right. Okay, so this way November should fit in now. I'm just going to do a Control D to duplicate this, and I'm going to put the year this time. So there's several ways to do year. I could do exactly the same. Actually, I could do that. Copy this, and I'm going to put here the format of today, but in YY, or Y, four Ys. And this cell here, I'm just going to refer to the 25, which is the one under, and that's going to be the year. And unfortunately, Excel takes me back to square one. But if I take this and I format paint on that, it's a bit bigger. Thank you very much, but it's not exactly what I want. Just to speed things up, I've taken some notes here. I think I've just want a size 60. Just if you just put 60 here. And I want to put it slightly above like this, and just a very pale red, I said pale, Benny, very pale red on top here like this. I do like it. You might not like it, so feel free to do whatever you like. So I just take that box again, and I duplicate that poor box again. Oh no, that's not the one I wanted to. Oh, but that will do, I suppose. But this one is going to be, it's not going to be a reference to a cell. It's just going to be just pure text. So this is your report, if you like, or whatever you want to put, maybe. And this is this, as it's hard coded, and as you don't refer to a cell, then here you have the possibility, obviously, to put high caps. First of all, I'm going to put everything in white again. Let's not get carried away with the colors. And then what do I want to put here? My task list. All my these days, so let's put my task list here. So, and then I think there's too much competition here. I'm just going to put 24 here. 24. Actually, now that seems to be, yeah. Yes, it does feel a bit small. I want to put something a bit bigger here. So what I suggest, what I was saying before, what I suggest you do, if you want things to align, what I like to do is to have things that align as much as possible, so it doesn't look too messy, to be honest. So you just insert a text box here. This is a bit, and you use it to try and align as many things as you can. What I like to align is, align the bottom of the donut with the bottom of the chart, for instance. Here, use this as a guide. So it goes here. So try to align as many things as possible. For instance, also what you could align, make sure you align stuff around here. It's not easy, I know, because of the resource here, but oops, this one maybe a bit higher up. I think it's always easier on the eye when things align, and also obviously at the top here. At the top here, not I've messed that up. You just make sure you change the size until everything aligns beautifully. Okay, you could even put that with no fill. Oops, no fill. Oh, what have I done? Stay with me, guys. Stay with me. It's almost done. The work's almost done. And here, the my task list, you can see that it deserves to be a bit lower here to align with this. So I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, I'm using this shape outline to align my stuff. Okay, so there's still maybe some fine tuning to be done, but I think it's okay. You can get rid of this. You can get rid of all the helps here. When you're ready, you can put that into a different. You put that into a different things, a different tab. You have all this in a different tab. If you want to refer to, you don't need to have it here. This also can go. Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. I think this is practically done. Just some fine tuning. Maybe put this stuff here more in the center on the left hand side. But I think it's pretty close to being finished. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully it all made sense. And I have other task lists if you're interested, and there's some links in the description, and that are also very easy to do. Sometimes it takes a bit of time, but that's more for the coloring, I suppose. But I'm trying not to use any, definitely not using any macros, VBs, and the likes. But I'm trying to be to keep things as simple as possible. Okay, see you in the next video.